This week, I found myself sitting with two very different women, different age ranges, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. But interestingly enough, even though they were separate conversations, the same story was moving through the space. Both loved their partners, both were deeply uncomfortable at the moment, and both were caught in a familiar loop. He's hurting me. I should leave. He's stressed. He has so much potential. This behavior of his is not okay, but he's not a bad person. Round and round, their minds went, trying to land on the right conclusion. And what struck me was that they weren't wrong. They were hurt. It was obvious. They were impacted, and their nervous systems were responding to something very real. But all of their attention was pointed outward towards his behavior, his stress, his unavailability, his potential. And the more attention that they gave to him, the less clarity they had access to within themselves. When I gently asked, "Do you feel like he is evil to the core?" Both paused. "No," they said. "He's overwhelmed. He's under a lot of pressure. He's going through something right now. He's just not himself." They could see it, but they couldn't use that seeing. Because when all of our energy goes toward evaluating someone else's rightness or wrongness, we quietly abandon our own seat of power. We live in a world that rewards this outward focus. The more indignant we are about being hurt, the more validation we receive from the outside, the more certain we are that the other is the problem, the more support we feel in the world around us. And again, this isn't to say that the pain isn't real. It is. But validation alone does not transform us. When we stare at a problem long enough, all of our energy begins to feed it. The story gets louder, the mind spins faster, logic slips away. Something very different happens when we begin to ask a different question. Not how do I fix him, but who is this discomfort inviting me to become? That question changes everything because now the situation is no longer a verdict, it's a teacher, not a punishment, but a mirror. And here's where I want us to slow down. This way of seeing is often misused. It gets turned into hurry up and change, transcend this already. You should be past this by now. But that isn't transformation either. It's just a lot of pressure. Real change takes time. Mastery takes time. Identity does not shift on command. Understanding something and embodying it are not the same thing. You can understand how surgery works, for example. That doesn't mean that you're ready to perform one. And yet, so many people become frustrated with themselves when growth isn't immediate, when old patterns don't dissolve overnight. But here's the quiet truth: that slowness is actually a gift because there are parts of you, of who you are right now, that you love, parts that help you keep you safe, parts that you don't actually want to lose. Unless you are willing to have everything rewritten in an instant, which most of us are not, it is wise to move with awareness rather than force, urgency, or pressure, to allow yourself to be shaped, not shattered. Often we need mirrors, people, situations, relationships that challenge us without breaking us. This asks us to take one small step at a time toward the life we want to live. This path requires humility, not self-blame, but self-honesty. The kind that says, I am not able to control another's behavior, but I can reclaim how I meet this moment. And when you do that slowly and gently, you are no longer trapped in blame. You are consciously creating who you are becoming, not through force, not through urgency, and not through pressure, but through something simple like presence. That's the path I keep returning to, and that's the one I'll keep walking with you until next Sunday.